that box you got that jumps up, click the word got it. Now, importantly, as I've mentioned a couple of different times now, if you can set up your space just like I have mine, chair, uh, chair on this side, another chair on this side, and then a third chair to sit. So if you can take the time at the beginning to get this set up, then the whole practice will flow much better. If you don't do this, then you're kind of trying to figure out what I'm doing and how to work it, and all of this stuff gets in the way. So if you don't have enough chairs, well, then I guess that makes it impossible. But if you do, please take the time to do that. And then once you set that all up, again, you have the backs of chairs facing in. You've got your chair that's acting as your seat back behind, so that these are out in front of you and there's a space on the floor. That's where we do all of our work, in that space. Begin by sitting forward at the front edge, hands on your knees or thighs, finding Zhong Zheng, or central upright. This pillar, this line that goes straight through our middle, down through the chair, down through the legs, connecting us as if we are like a plug plugging into a wall, but we're plugging into the floor. Now, we don't plug into the floor with effort and force. We're not pushing down to the ground. We're creating alignment and then relaxing. If I don't have this upright quality and I relax, if I've got bad posture and I just let go and let go and let go, I crumple up more. But if first I find that alignment, and then I practice this round by round of breath process of softening and relaxing, there's this settling quality, kind of like, again, if you had sediment in a cup of water and you stirred it up and the sediment is all up in the water, and then over time, as you let it become still, there's this settling, 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 settling. It takes time. And it's that process that is called chunwon, or softening into stability, sinking into stability. The breathing helps because as you take an inhale, you're stretching yourself more open. As you exhale, you're releasing, melting, allowing that process. The inhale again fills us up, opens up some tight spaces, and then breath out, and we settle. So let's just do that for about 8 more breath cycles. In the nose, out the mouth. Now, joint mobilization. Slide hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest up, chin up, arch the back. And then the opposite. Slide the hands forward past your knees, hollow the chest, drop your head. Slide the hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, arch. And slide hands forward, pass knees, hollow the chest, drop the head. Let's do 3 more. Inhaling as you slide those things back and arch. And exhaling as you round. 2 more. And back to neutral, right in the middle. Now rotation, slide left hand forward, right hand and elbow slide back as you turn your shoulders to your right, turn your head to your right as if you're trying to see behind you. And then switch, come back to center, and then turn to your left side. And then back to center and turn to your right. Breathe freely, but you could do inhale as you come to center, exhale as you're turning left. Inhale as you turn center, exhale as you turn to your right. Let's do a few more. One more each side. And back to middle. Arms hang loose by your side. Lean, softly lean. Lift your left wrist like there's a string tied to the wrist, and it's just like a little puppet string lifting. This foot being empty can float off the floor a little. And then switch. And switch. And switch. 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 And one more. Back to middle. Shoulders. We go forward with the shoulders. When they're forward, we keep them forward and go up, then back, down. Try to feel the discernment between the rib cage, chest, and the rib cage in the back. Those really aren't moving. There's some movement, but the moving parts are the shoulder blades and arms. So we want to find this sort of lubricated, sliding, free moving quality where you might find you don't have that, and actually it's like one big wooden block up here, and that is again part of why we feel so ready to fall. We feel less balanced. Is because we're stuck in a mechanic and a mechanism that needs or is built to be able to move. So that's the sum of the Taoist viewpoint on how to cultivate our body. It's a simple idea, but because the human body is so magnificent, it has so many different potential movement pathways and whatnot, it's a beautiful art form just to try to move every part the way it was built to move. And let's reverse. We go back and up, over the top, forward, and down. Continue that. Back, up, over, top, forward, down. And back to middle. Bend your elbows. So keep this bent position as we now lead from the elbows. And when we lead from the elbows, we pull ourselves open from inside here, this stuck area. So elbows go out and up, and then down, and then they come around in front and touch in front, and then down, and then out and up as high as you can. And just again, even though it looks like, hey, I'm lifting my elbows really high, that must take effort. When you're doing it right, it doesn't take any effort at all. It's like sliding. You're just sliding these parts. And so the more you practice Taoist movement, soft, supple, round, whole, complete movement, the more you increase this interior fluidity, this lubrication, and then this, it's kind of on that lubrication, that's like also the fuel for our movement. And now we go back, elbows behind, elbows down, forward, and up. And then forward, down, and back. Down, forward, up. Forward, down, and back. Down and forward, up. And then down, out to the side, one above, one below, cross, and hug your own torso. So now you're really closing the front, opening the back, and then opening, elbows out to the side, not back. So notice when I go this way, I didn't take my elbows this way this time. They just go straight out to the left and right, and then cross and hug. And again, open, and then cross and hug. Open, cross, and hug. So in effect, what we've just done is empty the top. So the top is above the diaphragm, chest, shoulder blades, neck, this whole chassis of the body. We've just emptied it. That's the effect we want to have with this practice. There was some crud and barnacles and tension, and we just emptied that out and let it settle down. So it's another saying in Tai Chi, top empty, bottom full. So it's one of the stages of what we want to create this change, where instead of being all tight and full up here, we got to empty that out and let it settle, settle, settle. And then there's another stage beyond that where we even relax the lower legs, hips, feet, everything is loose, and so you actually empty the bottom as well. But first we have to empty the top and let the bottom settle into this sturdiness, this full quality. Now scoot back a little bit in your chair so you're very stable. These next ones help us empty the bottom and make sure that stays fluid and flowing. Bring your right knee up, right heel draws in, so you're closing all the relationships here, and then extend, open, and then back up to here, and then put the foot down, switch, load, push, reload, down, load, push, reload, and down. A few more. So again, as you're practicing this, you want to work on it being loose. Loose, just as loose as this arm could move. You want that foot to have that same, that octopus tentacle quality. At first it's stiff and kind of sluggish, and maybe the brain isn't flowing through it as well as you'd like, but as you practice and practice, the idea is that eventually it can just go, wow, just like an open channel. And straighten your right leg, point foot, flex foot, point foot, flex foot. Invert, tilt, evert, tilt, tilt, tilt. Circle, in, around, and out, a few times. Out, around, and in, a few times. Straighten, other leg, point, flex. Tilt it in, out, in, out, in, out. Circle. Reverse, circle. And scoot again to the front edge of your chair. Step a little wider. Again, we're just unlocking, cleaning out extra, whatever's extra and stuck. Now lift the toes, turn on the heels, turn your toes and knees in and feel your groin area closing, and then opening, closing, opening. Make sure you have enough room between your feet. If they're too close together, you don't have any room to really do it. So step wide enough that you can actually internally rotate and feel that turning in, turning out. In, out. In. And back to neutral. Feet hip distance, hip hinge, folding. Sit back upright. The point you really want to find here, the most important part of this exercise, is that the same place you were just rotating the legs from, that same space, is the same space we fold from. Because too often when people are folding, because the back is really tight, they end up rounding from L1 or 2 or 3 or even some thoracic spine. People kind of bend from the spine as opposed to hinge from the pelvic leg connection. And this, when you find this, when you keep these gaits lubricated and open, the body can really do what it needs to do with ease. It's kind of a powerhouse, this hip hinging. Last one. And stay vertical. Now, standing up, using everything we've just used. So slide your feet back a little. Arms are loose and hanging, top empty, top empty. As you fold, let there be a filling up of the lower. The weight goes down through your feet, down to the earth. Come all the way up and stay empty, stay loose, stay relaxed. Hip hinge, just like I was talking about at that same spot. Stay folded in half as you sink to find your chair, and then lean back, and now you're sitting like you normally sit. Now it's time to stand up. So we keep the top empty and loose, fold at the hip crease, arms, shoulders, and head beyond the ankles, and up we go. And then hip hinge. So notice when it's time to sit down, the first thing I do is this. That's movement from this joint, not this, which is what I see a lot of people do. They punch their knees out, where the first thing you need to do is hips back. And then when you're continuing to fold here, that causes knee bending. Right? So this is your powerhouse. If you find this, it protects the joints above and below and allows you freedom of movement. Because this is easy, you know, eventually. At first, there's a lot of tension in the way. There's a lot of sort of lack of precision with our mechanics. But when you find it, it just flows. It just flows. Now stay standing. Don't sit in your chair, but fold and sink. So do not sit in your chair, but sink as low as you comfortably can, and then come right back up. So this really, let this highlight the idea that a healthy body is a changeable body. So right now I'm straight and long. Here I want to fold and let everything close and compress, kind of like an accordion being compressed, closed. And then I want to be like that accordion being pulled open and long, and then let that accordion close and then open. Just notice if you were to practice this regularly, then eventually this way would be open. You'd just be able to kind of go, oh, right? And it wouldn't take all this effort and stress and tension. Now, got your chair on your right side. Come over to it. Fingertips touching the chair for safety. Rock a little bit into your toes. Rock a little bit into your heels. Rock to the toes. Rock to the heels. Toes. Heels. Now we take that a step further. Rock to your toes and push down through the toes. Lift your heels all the way up. Then lower the heels down. Rock back to your heels. Pull your toes up. This is where the chair is really necessary. Then rock to the toes and lift. Lower. Rock back to the heels. Lift. Toes and lower. One more. And place the heels of your hands sturdily on the back of the chair. Walk your feet back. And then hip hinge from that same place that I've been talking about, where the legs and the pelvis meet. Hinge. So as you hinge there, you should feel a stretch to the back of your legs and to that lower back, and then also through the shoulders. Opening up the areas that get stuck. And then lift the chest so you just take the pressure out of the posture. Your hips come a little bit forward, and then we go in one more time. It's again, stick your butt back. So really send your butt back and stop at the exact point where you feel a nice stretch to your legs or to your back, muscles, through the shoulders. And then lift the chest. Now walk forward till you're vertical and under your own power. So the chair, you're not leaning on the chair anymore. Turn and face forward. Turn your right foot out 5 degrees, so the one that's closer to the chair, and put all your weight into that leg and put your other foot out in front. So I'm going to change angles so you can see. So I'm on the heel of this leg and it's empty. Now, hand on the chair for balance. Your left hand is on your left thigh. Stick your butt back. Let this knee, you can see this knee here, the one where my weight is, it kind of bends. As you fold and slide your left hand all the way down to the shin, maybe the ankle, maybe the foot, and then stand all the way up to vertical. But this leg stays empty. Do it again. Hip hinge. Slide your left hand down and all the way up. Notice it's still right at this hip crease thing, this place, this junction. Fold. And rise all the way. 2 more. One. And standing. Now this leg, the empty leg, shift your weight into it. And then fold. Notice the hand still on the chair. Fold, and notice this leg of mine, the other leg, is coming up in the air. Fold, and act like you're trying to reach and touch the floor, and then come all the way back up to vertical. Okay? So you got support from the chair, and then you're hip hinging. Torso is going there, and you're reaching down near the floor. And then rising up. Remember, what's really important here is your middle pivot. Because someday you can do this with no chair. And the only way to do that is when you have this middle pivot at the hips and belly and low back that can flow the way back up. Let's do that 2 more times. Soft, relaxed. One more. And back to standing. Switch to the other side chair. So come over here. Your leg that's closest to this chair, turn that foot 5 degrees or so out. Put your other foot in front. Let me change the angle so you can see. Right hand on right thigh. Hip hinge. Stick the butt back. And fold. Slide that right hand down to the shin, the ankle maybe to the foot. And come all the way back up. Make sure you do, in fact, get all the way to Zhong vertical upright before folding. And then all the way. 3 more. Now, change the weight into that leg, fold at the hip crease, and dangle your right arm like you're trying to touch the floor, and then come all the way back to vertical. Stay relaxed. Move from your middle. Practicing ease. Practicing being calm and relaxed in action through movement. One more. And we're back to standing. Change sides again. From here. Now I'm just going to change my angle a little so you can see. Now, step back so the chair is just within reach. And drop your arms and relax. And actually, the first one I face forward. So, first level of this, importantly, change your weight to your left leg, but don't pull your foot off the ground. Don't even lift the heel. Just keep the whole foot down on the ground, but it is empty. And then change. And Janona, is there something wrong? Can you hear me or see me okay? You okay? All right. So now we're changing from that same middle pivot, which again is the hip crease area, but also the belly low back. Changing. Changing. Change. Feel the mechanism of the legs. The most important part is that the legs are not wooden stilts. They're not beams that you're trying to balance on top of. They're springs. They need to sink. They have to have bendability. When I put the weight over here, the leg has to give a little bit. And then this leg has to give a little bit. And that's subtle, but incredibly powerful. Now, the next time you're in your left leg, stay there. Right foot should be empty. Lift the heel and get to the tippy toe. So this is empty, so I should be able to get to here. Put the foot down while it's still empty, and then do that change. Now lift to the tippy toe over here. Put the foot down while it's still empty, and then change. Remember, there's sort of, let's say, beginner version of each exercise and then more advanced version. So the beginner is 4 stages, I think. You shift, you lift, you lower, then you shift again, right? So that 4 events or whatever. But eventually it's just 2. It's like as the foot's going down and I'm letting the weight, the other one's coming up. And then as I'm putting the foot down, I'm letting the weight go through and lifting. But it has to have this leisurely quality of dropping through. because then eventually it can go, boom, right? Boom. So it's just one event, and that's kind of like running. It's just shoo, shoo, boom, boom, changing weight. But it still has that Tai Chi litheness and looseness, but yet we're moving, quote unquote, faster. Now, weight into your left leg, tippy toe, use the chair for balance as you disconnect the foot from the floor, reconnect it to the floor, change, get to your tippy toe, lift, lower, place the foot down, change, right? So that's this beginning level of each event. We're discerning that event and we're not trying to rush right through it. But then it can start to polish as you find the way down through to the earth. Down through to the earth. As I let this leg have its bendability, this one has its buoyancy. As I allow that weight through correctly, this one has no need to be anywhere near the floor because I'm so appropriately grounded. Grounded. Now, hand on chair. If you don't have it, let's go level 3, where you lift all the way to the top. And again, the beginning version, down, change the weight, lift, down, change the weight, lift, down. And feel free to stay at this beginning level, especially if you're newer to the practice. But I'm just giving this next bit for the people that have been here a while, where you can start to think, oh, it's just zoom. So it's almost one event. It's down, up, down, up. But the important thing is the down, not the up. The up has to happen as a byproduct of correct bendability, softness, releasing. Down. And pause. Take that step back if you haven't yet. Chair is in front of you and to your right. Now, put the weight through your left leg. Put your right foot in front, heel touching, empty. Notice I didn't take a humongous step. It's just right in front. Now, change your weight into the front leg and allow yourself emptiness in the back leg so you can get to the tippy toe. And then change your weight back into that back leg so you're in the front. Empty in the front. And then change the weight to the front leg, get to the tippy toe of the back. And then change. Now you see me moving forwards and backwards. But if you think forwards and backwards, you end up going too far forward, too far backward. So the good news is only think of down. So my foot's in front, then I'm just going down. And my body moves forward the perfect, appropriate way. Same thing on the way back. If I just think down, my verticality remains, my middleness remains. Boom. That's the best part of Taoist understanding, is that it's less than what you're doing. It's easier than what you're trying to do. Especially once you get your posture relationships correct. Once you have that, then the way to fly this vessel, our body, is way more technically difficult, but not brute force. Level 2 of this exercise. Lift, lower, this empty leg, and then shift. And then your back foot, like a little flamingo, just bend the knee, touch the toe, shift. From the hip, make sure you're sitting and bendable through your standing leg so that this is empty. And then shift. Make sure you're sitting through that bendable leg so that this little movement here doesn't require any brute force. And then shift, lift, lower, shift. This is one of those as well that you can start going, as my weight's going down, I'm bending the knee. This more advanced version. as I'm going down with the weight, this leg is coming up. So it starts to happen simultaneous. Basically running. This is what it is. It's this simultaneous movement. Let's go level 3. Hand on chair, lift, lower, shift, then heel to butt and knee forward and up, and reach the toe back, and then shift, and then this empty leg up, empty leg down, shift. This is beginning version. Knee forward and up, reach the toe back, shift. Those of you wanting to do the advanced version, you get the idea, I hope, where it's not rush, it's just as that's happening, so is this. And then as this is happening, so is this. Not immediately simultaneous, but in the same general time frame. If you find yourself speeding up and rushing, notice that that comes with tension. It always comes with gripping, holding, tightening, pulling, yanking. None of that is helpful. So slowing down enough to polish all of that out. And then swiftness becomes available. Switch sides. Set up. Change the weight to your right leg, left foot in front, level 1, beginning version, shift, get to tippy toe. Shift back, tip heel. Remember primary direction, down. And remember it's down, like I was describing, it's not pushing down. It's more difficult than that because it's not something we grab on and do. It's something we have to stop doing to allow for down. Down. Sort of unnerving to some degree when we start practicing this way. We start to go, whoa, I'm letting go of control, but then you find another system that you can move this body with, this softer, looser, more fluid system, hydraulics, what they call song. Now, level 2, lift, lower, shift, flamingo, down, shift. Got our middle intact. Paying attention to the primary direction, down. Maybe you want to go to the slightly advanced version of this where it's as the weight is dropped through the empty leg, or the open leg, the open full leg. As it's dropped through it, this one can lift. As the weight drops through, that can lift. So more simultaneous. And then we go level 3, up, down, shift, forward and up, toe reach back, shift. All I got to do is just be connected to the earth correctly. You get that? It's the other Tai Chi saying, 1 full, 3 empty. Or 1 grounded, 3 liberated. These are liberated because I've grounded here. And back, switch sides again. Put right foot in front. So you got weight in your back leg. Your right foot's my left foot, but your right foot because I'm being your mirror. Shift. Now this back foot is empty. Float it forward, touch the heel to the ground, and shift. And then shift into your back leg. Once your front foot is empty, just float it back, find the floor with the toe, and shift back. So the key to this is the weight goes down through your right leg. It stays down through the right leg as you step. So this is still empty. Then my weight changes. And then shift, step, shift. So this is that beginning version that we have to train to discern these events. We have to discern full empty switch, step while still empty, full empty switch. Full empty switch, step while empty, full empty switch. But then there's the advanced version, which is just walking. But it has all those events, which is different than, right, when we're walking and we're just kind of lurching into the leg. That is not smooth, but this can be smooth from the middle. Bendable legs. One empty, one full. One empty, one full. Level 2. Lift, lower, shift. Now step over something. Empty foot, and then shift. Back foot flamingo, toe touch, shift. Now up, tuck, reach, shift. From the hip, empty, lift and lower, shift. Step over something, shift. Flamingo, down, shift. So beginning version, we're breaking each part of the movement into a single event. We're parsing it out so that we can make sure everything that needs to be in place is in place. Then as you become highly sensitive to what is full, what is empty, then you can go to where it's, as the weight's going down, I'm picking the foot up and stepping over. As my weight's going down, so then it starts to take on a little more of a natural, athletic, functional experience. Level 3. Up, use the chair for balance. Down, change the weight. Heel, knee, foot, down, in front, and shift. And then back. Shift. Up, tuck, reach, shift. It's down that produces the ability to come up. Down that produces the safety for this large range movement without disturbing. It's the down that allows you to bring this up. Reach back. It's the down that makes you safe throughout this whole complicated reverse movement. 2 more. Just say the word, a good mantra. Down. Just down. Every time you're supposed to send that weight down, just in your own head, say, down. 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 Switch sides. Weight in your right leg, left foot in front, level 1. Shift. Once this foot is empty, it can step as light as a feather. Shift. And again, shift. Bring that foot back, light as a feather. Down. Down. The down allows that light as a feather quality. Down. Down. Step. Down. 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 Level 2. The down allows this to be able to come up. Then I change, so now this one being down allows for a little step over the obstacle. And then the down here allows me this flamingo. I can lift the other foot. down allows me the movement, down allows this movement, all organized around the middle. There's a constant middle that is revealed when we focus on these elements of separating the opposites, having an actual full empty separation and then changing across to the other. That helps us find the middle, feel the middle. Level 3, up, down, change. Then this exaggerated heel, knee, foot, down, change. Bring that down, down, down. Move to the left side of your space. Turn and face across so you have a runway. Level 1. And again, your chairs should be on your left here so you have safety rails should you need them. Empty your left foot, put it in front. Level 1. Change, step while empty, change, step while empty. This is the beginner version where we're breaking it into those parts. Change, step while empty, change. Same thing in reverse. Primary direction is down when going backwards. Keep that, that's very important, especially when going backwards, because we tend to get scared and lean back. Down, step the empty foot. Down, step the empty foot. Down. Again, some of you might eventually just work on just walking. And the whole time you're just thinking, down, 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 down. And one time with level 2, up and over. Up and over. Up and over. Down allows for the up. Down. Reversing. And turn and face forward. Put all the weight in your left leg. Right foot out, right foot in. Out, in. Out, in. Ideally, you step this foot out and there's no weight in it, and you get the whole foot on the ground. There's only one way to get it there, is by this mechanism being bendable. If I'm locked here, I can't get my heel down unless I put weight in it. If I have 2 stilts for legs. So one of the best parts of this exercise is it really helps you find getting through this one, keeping this empty and getting the whole foot down. So feel that. Now, put the foot out, keep it out there, change. So now 100, 0, change back. 100, 0. From the middle pivot, change. 100, 0, change. 100, 0. 100, 0. 100, 0. One more. 100. Now, bring that left foot in and back out. In, out. In, out. Now, bring that foot in, keep it in, feet touching if you can. Change the weight to the left leg so the right foot is totally empty. And then change the weight to the right leg so your left foot is totally empty. Change. And change. So really let this one show you your middle gear, your middle pivot point. That internal turning, rolling, multi-directional, omnidirectional actually is a good term. Omnidirectional pivot in here. It can turn, it can lean, it can go lateral, forward, back. So this middle pivot's got all the movements we need, and we need to open it up and bring it online. Now, all the way through your left leg, right foot steps out. From your middle pivot, go 100 through your right. Left is empty, bring it in. And then change again. From that middle pivot, step out. And then change again, bring your left foot in. And then change and step out. Change and step in. Out. In. Out. In. Switch directions. That bendability of the leg that you're letting the weight go through. So it can start to be a little more immediate. All right, so you see I'm going down and stepping, and then down and stepping, and then choo choo, choo, almost immediate. Now step to a hip distance. The bear washes the paws. So hopefully you've been coming to at least some of the Friday classes, so you're learning the upper choreography. We're changing weight leg to leg, and there's all kinds of different movements available. So now, change your weight into your right leg, hands sweep across. Keep them over here, step the left foot in. Now the left foot should be empty. Change the weight into the left leg, turn, and brush, sweep. Now keep your hands over to your left. Right foot should be empty. Step it out. So now there's a little bit of this dynamic tension going that way. We go with it. So change the weight, turn, and sweep. There's a little bit of dynamic tension opening here, and we let that sort of resolve. We bring that foot in. And keep that left foot close. Change the weight into the left foot, turn, brush, and sweep. Keep the hands to your left as you step right foot out. And then change to your right leg, turn, brush, and sweep. Left foot should be empty, bring it in. Change the weight to the left leg, turn, brush, sweep. Step out. Change, turn, brush, sweep. Step in. Change, turn, brush, sweep, step out. Change. Switch direction, step out. Feel free to go to the bear swirls the stream, or the bear swats the fish, or brush knee and push. All of it is available with the same change of weight, turn. Change of weight, turn. And when you start to feel that you don't have to grab your body and control it as much, you actually just kind of let it float, like sea kelp floating, like with this term schwen, with the flow. Change directions again. So again, So you come to the Friday class and you learn these movements. The bear swats the high jumping fish. The bear washes its paws. The bear swirls the string. You want to get comfortable with those so then you can start letting those show up. We've got the bear middle jumping fish, brush knee and push, switch direction. This is where you can start to practice Tai Chi freestyle. When you learn just a couple of moves and then you work on Schwen, work on flow, work on just getting out of the way, moving. And then as you finish, just let it settle, settle, settle. Come to your chairs again. We're going to come into the middle of the chairs and we're going to do a little closing sequence. So hands on your hips here, hips forward and back, right? So if you see it sideways, I'm pushing hips forward a little, pushing hips back. So feel that direction of movement, as well as hips to the right, and my upper body kind of goes to the left, and then hips to the left, upper body goes to the right, and then we are circling. Circling. What's leading the movement has to be this middle area. Circle. Circle around. The butt sticks back. The pelvis goes forward. So you got to hit all those points on the mat. Switch directions. Butt goes back. Hips come forward. And hand on your, excuse me, bless me. Hand on your right side chair. Put your weight in your right leg. Turn your left foot out a little bit. Lift. Bring it in. Down. Turn the leg out. Lift. Bring it in. Down. Turn the leg out. While it's turned out, lift it. While it's lifted, close it. While it's closed, straighten it. Open. Lift while open. Close. Lower while closed. 2 more. Switch sides. Turn the right leg out. While it's turned out, lift it. While it's lifted, bring it in. While it's in, lower it. Turn it out. Lift. Close. Down. Open and lift. Close and down. One more. Switch sides. Now, instead of open, turn on the ball of the foot in. While it's turned in, bring it up so it's across your body. While it's lifted, open it. And then while it's open, take it down to the ground. So they finish with your feet turned out, legs turned out. Turn on the ball of the foot. So it's internally rotating. Then the leg comes across. Then it opens. While it's open, take it down. Turn on the ball of the foot. Bring it across. Open. Take it down. Ball of foot. Cross. 2 more. Switch sides. Right foot is empty. Turn on ball of foot, internal rotation. Bring it across. Open. Down. Turn on ball of foot. Bring it across. Open. Down. Turn. Cross. Open. Down. Turn. Open. Turn. Open. And change again. Last little set. This one can be a little complicated. Place this empty left foot out in front of you. Ball of foot touching, heel off the ground. And you just swivel. What you're looking for here is from up in here in the hip, all the way through the leg, foot, ankle to the toes, the whole leg is turning. Turning. It's just going in, out, in. It's kind of like doing this with the arm, right? Turning your arm from your shoulder. So get that feeling of freedom from hip to toes. And then with that same feeling, we go heel in, up, out, down. So what we're now doing is spiraling, like this with the arm, but with the leg. Spiral, spiral, spiral. And reverse. Spiral, spiral. Switch. Put the ball of foot out in front a little bit. In, out, in, out. From up in the hip. Swivel, swivel. So it's kind of like shaking the leg loose. Inside out, circle, circle, circle. So if this is a difficult movement for you, of course it is, right? It's a weird movement, it's difficult, but you can see with mine, it starts to look kind of natural. Go ahead and reverse. It's just this loose, free, spiraling, round way of controlling this body that is superior to what most people have learned how to do with the body. It's just better. And middle, hands together, rub palms, rub the back of one hand, rub palms, rub the back of the other hand, and palms, and then the groin area, the quad, front of the thigh, upper thigh, hip flexor area, right where the hips and thighs meet. Then tail, lumbar, stick your butt back, sink, sweep the hands down the outside of the legs, around to the inside of the legs, come all the way up past the groin to your navel, quad, hip flexors, tail, lumbar, yang channels, outer back sides of legs, yin channels, inner front sides of legs to the navel. One more time. Quad, hip flexors, sacrum, lumbar, yang channels, yin channels, and then finally up the outer arm to the shoulder. Turn that palm up, sweep down and off. Turn that arm down again. Same arm, go up the outer, down off the inner. Up the outer, up, and switch. Up the outer, turn, down the inner, up the outer, down, up, down, up. And shogun, wing, roll, fold, sink, seal. Place one hand over belly button, other hand over that hand. And then Taoist bow. Thank you, everybody. So make sure you know where your chair is when you go to sit down. Any questions, thoughts, insights, please share. If you got to go, you can just wave and go. And remember, these videos are online. If you do this stuff every day, you get better results.